Hello Internet, I'm the Disney Brain and welcome to my initial thoughts on Disney Channel's latest original series. When this show began production months ago, we knew that it would be carrying the weight of previous flops with it. What we didn't know at that time is with Girl Meets World's moronic cancellation, this show now has the additional burden of filling those rather sizable shoes before Raven makes her return to the network in due course. I don't think I'm understating it a bit when I say that Andi Mack represents a major turning point for Disney Channel. Which begs the obvious question, does Terry Minsky's new project live up to the hype, especially given the success of her most noteworthy creation? We'll get there, but first, let's break down the premiere. Spoiler warning now, so if you want to go into this one fresh, head to the Watch Disney app or watch the first episode in full on Disney Channel's YouTube page. With all that said, let's dive into Andi Mack. The pilot episode quickly starts us off by introducing the main trio of friends, Cyrus, Buffy, and of course, the title character Andi. Her 13th birthday is incoming, and her first of many surprises is the return of her sister Bex. Her return creates mixed reactions from the Mack family, and before we go any further, let's hand it to Disney Channel for this one. Finally, some proper live-action representation of an Asian family, or at least mostly Asian. They haven't pulled that off since Wendy Wu, and certainly never in an original series. So Bex, who has been more than a little absent over the years, wants to try and reconnect with Andi. It's through this that we learn of Andi's gift for arts and craft, something that the opening credits sequence does a really great job at conveying. This leads to the mystery box that will come much more into play later, but more immediately, it leads to Andi's crush Jonah Beck. What's nice about this is the inclusion of Ultimate Frisbee, by no means a standard sport, and it's great to see it being recognized in popular entertainment. In fact, Andi and Jonah might just be the network's first ever Ultimate players, but we've watched enough shows like these to not be surprised when Amber appears on the scene. This leads to a dispute between Bex and Andi regarding Bex never really having been there in Andi's life. This creates the major turning point and likely the most definitive part of the entire show. It's revealed that Bex isn't Andi's sister, as she'd been told her whole life, but she's in fact her mother. Yes, you're hearing that right. Disney Channel is breaking another one of their many taboos by directly addressing teen pregnancy. The Mack parents are none too pleased with the reveal, but I already like this father character, who, so far, has been shown to be caring, understanding, and can think soundly even through adversity. Too early to call, but Disney Channel usually gets dads right, and we may have another winner here. I kind of wish he got mentioned in the opening credits though. But now, the defining mystery of the series becomes twofold. One, what exactly happened 13 years ago that led us to here, and two, who is Andi's real father? Both questions are hinted at a little closer to the end of the episode, so when both parties feel ready to dig deeper, the layers will slowly unravel. And also, yes, this show really did make a period joke. It was a bold move if nothing else, but not at all crossing a line, and actually kind of clever. Not too much spoiler-worthy stuff happens in episode 2, but I'll briefly mention it before the full breakdown. It's more or less just Andi joining the Frisbee team, a couple of the expected spats within the Mack residence, and fully confirming that yes, Amber will in fact be this generation's Kate. One really great family moment near the end, but not nearly as discussion-worthy as the pilot, and that's the Andi Mack premiere. So, after months of anticipation and build-up, and a situation that places an ungodly amount of pressure on this show, Andi Mack simply works on nearly all fronts. This has all the pieces in place to be something truly special, and the serialized approach that they're taking here, with every episode looking to build off the last, is very refreshing. After years of faffing around, Disney Channel has taken that metaphorical jump into the deep end of the pool, and now they're in uncharted waters. Regardless of whether Andi Mack ends up as good as it could be or not, this is undeniably the most ambitious family structure that this network has ever attempted to tackle. I still think they maybe could have held back on the big reveal for a later episode, maybe kept subtly hinting at the fact that something was just a little bit off about the Mack family. But I also can't fault them for wanting to create a memorable pilot, and they certainly did that here. The characters are a pretty fun bunch so far. The Mack family feels like they already have a solid working chemistry, which is especially useful in the tenser moments, and the best friend characters are interesting enough for now, but we'll see how they develop. To this point, everyone is playing their roles pretty well, and I feel like once we really learn about these characters, they have a chance to become just as nuanced and valuable as even the Girl Meets World cast. Now, they've still got a ways to go, but given the writing and story structure on display so far, there's no reason to think that this show can't deliver focus episodes just as bold and daring as their pilot. Maybe we won't get episodes as moving as I Am Farkle or Riley Town out of it, but if this show even comes close to that down the line, then we've really got something here. Now, let's break down the technical stuff. Liv and Maddie got a huge boost last week when they enlisted the services of the greatest director on the network and ended up with an all-time great episode as a result. This show, however, just like Even Stevens before it, isn't wasting any time, since they brought Paul on board right away for the first 2 episodes and hopefully many more. The younger actors would always need a bit more time to really grow into their roles, but the potential is there, especially from Peyton Elizabeth Lee in the lead role. But the older actors really come to life here, and there's a good chance Lillian Bowden, who plays Bex, could end up as the best character on this show, depending on how she develops. But more than anything, I think the acting, direction, and writing all really coalesce well in the first 2 episodes. Unlike Bizarrevark, which flopped fast and hard after its premiere, this show is not afraid, and that trait gives it a lot more in common with the golden years as directly opposed to the darker times. That's exactly the mentality Andi Mack needed to have, given the weight of expectations on its shoulders, and so far, it's carrying that weight without making it look too difficult. Several recent Disney Channel premieres have been underwhelming at best, but Andi Mack essentially scoffs at all of that, operating with a level of confidence that hasn't been apparent since that other really good premiere episode that set things up really well for even better future stories. And you can feel it here too. You can feel that this show doesn't want to just play it safe twiddling their thumbs for 13 plus episodes before getting inexplicably renewed for season 2. Andi Mack wants to be about family, both the breaking apart and coming together thereof. Andi Mack wants to blaze a new path and set a new standard for what this network can do. And, maybe most vitally of all, Andi Mack wants to tell a story. A real one. A powerful one. And hopefully, a good one. My optimism has burned me several times before, but I think this show may just turn a lot of heads. Andi Mack has made his presence felt and heard, and now it's all about properly utilizing the elements they have. In a few weeks' time, Liv and Maddie will unfortunately be gone, and Andi Mack will likely be the new definitive Disney Channel show. But, interestingly enough, it kind of feels like this show not only knows that, but wants to be. All in all, Andi Mack could end up being exactly what the doctor ordered for Disney Channel, a show that boldly goes where no original series has gone before. No matter what the overall quality ends up being, this will be a show worth paying attention to. If it ends up being very good or even great, then we all win. But even if it ends up not being either, this still represents a monumental leap forward for the network, and that should be encouraged. Otherwise, this will happen again, but maybe this time with a monkey or something, who knows. If you haven't yet watched the pilot, then get on that, and leave your thoughts down below. And if episode 3 ends up being as noteworthy as the first 2, then we'll be right back here again to break it down and discuss. And of course, thanks for watching.
And by the way, Amber Alerts are for kidnapped children, so kind of terrifying as opposed to cute. Just something to think about.